So we came in the fall of 1969. The football team had won, I think, 3 games in the previous 2 years, maybe 4 games in the previous 2 years. And they told me that not to have too high of expectations. In that very first year, we lost our first 8 games. Coming into the last game of the season, we were playing another team that hadn't won a game all year, and we tied them 6-6 down at Loop Field. What really blew me away, and we had our banquet down at the old high school in the cafeteria. Wife Judy talked me into going to the thing because I wasn't too interested. You know, I didn't think there'd be anyone there. So we come into the cafeteria. It's packed. It is packed, and the people were just so upbeat and on top of it. I mean, it just blew me away. And I told her afterwards, I think, you know, this is not a bad place to be. Loop Field, as I say, was definitely a home field advantage because it was sandy loam, and when there was just a little bit of a rain, it was just perfect. It was compact, and you could just and we were used to it because we turned out on it all the time. And when we played the Tacoma schools, the guys would come down when they got off the bus. They would say, "Do we have to play on this?" Yeah, and we'd be picking rocks up and throwing them off the field. Longtime coach here, Bill Brickert, was our assistant. And he was a track coach, and he indicated to me, he says, you always want to be going away from the scoreboard in the 4th quarter because the field was at a bit of an angle. 6 to 8 inch drop from one end to the other end. It wasn't much, but it was a little bit of an angle, so you always want to go downhill in the 4th quarter. Once we got up into Highclimber Stadium, I mean, it was magnificent. Just a terrific place to play. We had great young men all the time. It was just their attitude and their work ethic was just superb. Eager, extremely hardworking, dedicated, committed, and trustworthy with one another. Try to get the student athletes to be at their very best, not only as athletes but also in school and with their family and with the community too. We did a lot with goal setting. When we set goals for each football game, we set goals for the football season, and we set goals for what we want to do in life. We set goals for what they want to do academically. So they set goals in 4 or 5 different areas. So it wasn't just all football, because we wanted them to be well-rounded all the way around. So some of our student athletes, they'll still come around and say, yeah, I still use our goals, coach. Still doing it. We tried to keep everything in a positive vein. So the growth that we saw in our ball players, some was just tremendous. I was mild-mannered most of the time. I'd raise my voice, but very seldom. So that whenever I did raise my voice and speak loudly to the ball players, they knew we meant business. I had the coaches work the same way. During practice, for example, if a ball player wasn't getting the right technique down or something, if the coach chewed him out, we always made sure that after the practice we're walking off, arm around the shoulder of the ball player, telling, now, I was trying to get your attention. It wasn't personal, it wasn't at you, but that's a technique that you need to master and we need to get down correctly. Very seldom would I blister them or get really upset, but at that time we'd break it down to see where we needed to make the improvement and identify what needed to be done and get that across to the ball players. I remember one time throwing the piece of chalk up against a chalkboard and breaking it. When they saw that, they knew I was serious, and the second half was much better. That team concept was always at the forefront of what we did. Everything that they did in their position was connected to what the person next to them was doing. Each one of them had to feel that the guy next to them was every bit as important as they were, and that developed team unity. Boy, you have to have team unity. If you want to be successful, we hope that's a carryover into life. Just seeing a couple of things. One, first of all, the ball players, elation after winning a ball game or winning a league championship or whatever, just the elation that they had. Then the camaraderie that it brought together with the entire community. Seeing our ball players continuing on after they're out of high school, feeling good about how well our student athletes did after they left the program. Some are still around town here just doing terrific things for the community. That's probably about as rewarding as it can get. Overall, it was just terrific being the head coach here. The attitude from the ball players and the support from the fans was just outstanding. Couldn't be better. I'd like to be remembered as a coach as one who was able to get his athletes to do their very best at whatever endeavor they were engaged in.